Tell me about what the program here is all about.
Okay, this is the capacity building program to use theater as a way to bring information to isolated communities. So we're working with 4 different theater companies in 4 different provinces: Herat, Kabul, Nangarhar, and Bamyan. Working with local theater groups, and part of our strategy is to create all women's teams that can reach women who have been isolated by either incarceration or village life or tradition, and also reach men in different NGOs or the police. And they're developing the programs themselves. Now it involves artistic training in new theater techniques, because they have, in some cases, access to no theater training whatsoever. The development, like a practical application of the training in the form of a show, and they develop the show themselves, the plays themselves, about conflict resolution in their community. And then we also connect them with NGOs so that there'll be future support, and UN organizations, so they can hire them in the future to create a show about anything, about polio vaccinations, about any kind of information that needs to reach the villages.
What other kinds of, give me some examples of conflict resolution scripts or narratives that they might explore in one of these performances.
Yeah, okay. So, for example, the group in Kabul developed a show about the corruption that exists from the top down to the bottom. So it's kind of a comic story, but with a very serious message about a boy who wants to know where he should throw away his banana peel. And so he goes to the local shopkeeper, and he says, well, you have to talk to the policeman. He goes to the policeman. He says a little bit of the policeman's story. And the policeman says, well, you have to go to the ministry. And then he goes to the ministry, and he sees a little bit what's going on there. Well, you have to go to the Justice Department. So he goes on this little journey all the way through it's an improbable story, but it takes us a vehicle through the different levels of the government to see how each one is taking responsibility or not taking responsibility, from the upper levels to the bottom levels. So as a way to see into the corruption that exists in the government. So it tackles nepotism, it tackles just the pay involved, and the little bribery on the side, etc.
What do you think the actors take away from the performances, and how do you tie it in at the end of the performance with maybe some of the lessons you're trying to get them to understand?
One feature of this program is that after the performance, we have a dialogue with the audience, but it's a very special kind of interactive dialogue with the audience. So not only are the actors asking the audience what solutions do they see manifested in the play, but what additional solutions might they offer, and then what additional solutions, and they get a chance to come up on stage and actually act out these situations, these solutions. So they can confront the mayor, they can confront the mullah, they can confront the local police and say what they would say to the policeman, what they would offer as a solution. So it's a really excellent way for them to express their points of view.
Perfect. Can you talk a little bit about the role of theater in Afghan society?
Yeah, so one thing I didn't mention is that part of our strategy is to work with all women's teams. The women's shows really address the ideas of women's rights, and this is very new information to some of the places that we're going. To the women's prison, we've gone to the women's prison in Herat, the women's prison in Kabul, the women's prison in Jalalabad. These women are really very much isolated from access to any of this information about the importance of education, the resources available to them for education, also at the women's shelters. This is new information for them. You asked about the role of theater. Theater is really rather new, and this is definitely a new thing to be able to bring this to people that have not seen theater at all. Their impression of theater is what they see on television, what they see in the cinema. And this is pretty much Bollywood and dancing, and it's a little bit more sexy, and this is their idea. So this is introducing them to the idea that theater can be informational, and it can bring information to people that have not had access to this information. And also that it carries a good message. So in some cases in the villages, we've had to show the village elders and the mullahs, this is also what theater can be. You can really be very valuable. And when they see that, and they see that it's really carrying a good message, it makes a huge difference, and they say, this is good. This is something we should have. Please bring this to the boys' school and the girls' school, and yes, I think the police should see this, and yes, I think that the local municipality should see this. So it's had a very good impact.